So first up, congratulations on the latest single, Coming Home to You with Owen, which is closing in on the top 10.
Thank you so
And
much.
we're going to talk about that here in a couple of minutes. But being that this is the first time you and I have ever met or chatted, so you started at age 4 making
Hmm.
music. And I've
Yep.
done something, whenever I interview an artist, I do something called First Song Challenge. So do you
Mm.
remember the very first song you ever wrote, and can you sing me a line?
Oh my gosh. The very first song I ever wrote. I don't know if I can remember like the very first one because I was so young, but I do remember like maybe the first one I wrote like under like as an actual artist being like, oh, maybe this could be for me. Um, I think it was called Jealous, but I'm not sure I can sing anything of it. I honestly like don't remember.
Do you remember who it was inspired by?
It probably was inspired by like a high school boyfriend or something like that. Like, oh my gosh, I wrote some absolute turds in my life. Like, I look back and like I have a laptop and I'm like, this laptop will stay closed so nobody finds these songs. But you have to like try and experiment to like, get to a place where the songs are decent.
And one of the other things you did in those early days is you performed in a family cover band
Hmm.
that did Madonna covers. Am I right about that?
We did so many different covers. Like we did Beatles, Beach Boys, like Michael Jackson, Madonna, Evanescence. Like we covered Alanis Morissette. Like we covered so much stuff. My covers, I because we all took turns singing, and so I remember like I did "Hand in My Pocket," "Uninvited," Alanis Morissette, two Alanis Morissette songs. A Dixie Chicks, I did "Let Her Rip." Do you remember that song?
Yep.
Let Her Rip. What else did I do? I can't remember all of them, but we had so many songs and we would just be a little dancing monkey family band.
Have you ever met Alanis Morissette and told her that
I
story?
I haven't, but I have played on like a festival the same night as her, but we played at the exact same time, so we didn't get to really
Right.
meet.
So I saw you at the CCMAs this past summer in Kelowna, where
Hmm.
you won Female Artist of the Year.
Hmm.
And the next morning, you were at the airport. We were all
Yeah.
flying out at the same time. And I thought, I wonder, what does she do with her trophy?
Well, you don't get a trophy that night, which is kind of funny. They mail them to you. So I haven't actually got, I think I just got last year's like a month or two ago. So
Okay.
yeah, my suitcase was the same way. Um, but it is kind of funny because you like win it and you're like, okay, here it is back.
But I thought it's got to be a weird thing to go through like security with if you did have it when you're
Oh my
leaving the
gosh,
airport.
yes. Yeah, they'd be like, what is this heavy chunk of metal?
And that night you performed as Thelma and James with your
Hmm.
husband Jake, which I'm not just saying this because we're chatting, but I did think was the performance of the night. It was
Oh
really,
wow.
really great.
Thank you so much.
And
It's, him and I like my stuff, obviously, as you know, is like more pop country. And him and I, our project feels a little bit more just like honest and simple. And I think people are really reacting to that right now. Like there's so much music and it's so big sounding all the time that I feel like an honest, like simple song is connecting.
and I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times, but I've never heard the answer, so I'll ask you as well. Why Thelma and James?
Yeah, everyone is very confused about it. It's really simple. So my middle name is Thelma. And then Jake's real name is James. And so when we were coming up, and they're both like Thelma was my great grandma, and Jake is the third. So his real name is James Calvin Etheridge the third. So his dad and his grandpa are also James. And so we were like, it was a very fast thing. When we wrote that song, we were not a band. We weren't trying to be a band. We wrote a song together and put it online. And a couple later, we were signing a record deal, and they're like, "What's the name? Like, we need to." You have to get like lawyers involved with like picking a name because you have to make sure it's not copyrighted. I don't really know. You have to make sure it's cleared. So they're like, we need to know the name. So Jake and I were trying to think like what like obscure name, like what does this band sound like? Like we didn't even know because we had written one song. And so we're like, you know what? Let's use our actual names. Nobody can get mad at that. Nobody can be like, I hate your band name. And you're like, that's my grandma's name, dude. Like, so we just picked that and it had people have been confused by it, but it's really just as simple as that. It's our names.
What would Jake say is your most annoying habit?
Oh my gosh. I don't have any annoying habits. He has a lot of annoying habits. I'm kidding. What would be my most annoying habit? Oh, I know. I am like terrified of burning our house down. So of course, I'm like the girl who has every like candles lit and the Christmas tree lit and everything is like on, and then I turn it all off, and then I make him go around and check it all that like the candles are off and the stove is off and the fireplace is off. And he's like, my nightly routine is like so much longer because I have to unplug everything that you've plugged in, like this candle warmer and this Christmas tree and this garland. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what he has to do every night, and then he has to bring me a cup of water to bed, and then I'm chill.
There was a great video that you posted, I think it was on your Instagram, where you and your family were in a restaurant and Happy Ever After you came on as you were having breakfast. And
Hmm.
I thought, is that still a little strange for an artist to hear their song, whether it's on the radio or playing in the grocery store, so to speak?
Yeah, I feel like it's always just exciting. Like that in that moment, it really like you saw from the video, we were like in sweatpants, like hoping nobody saw us. And the first opening line started, and our daughter was like, Mama, Dada. And before we even heard it, because it was kind of loud in there. And it was so cool. It was just like a simple family moment where nobody else in the restaurant knew. And we were like filming. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like they're all just having their own quiet moments with their family, and like our song is playing for everybody. So it's really cool, and it never ever will get old. Like every time it happens, where did it happen the other day? Oh, we were in the mall in Opry Mills, and my song Pickup started playing. And I was like, is this is this Pickup? Like, how would this even be playing in the mall? But it's just really cool.
Well, Coming Home to You has obviously been playing a lot on radio
Yeah.
stations across the country. It's closing in on the top 10. Now, I know you write a lot of your own music. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that one was one that came from a team of songwriters, correct?
Yes. For my Mackenzie stuff, I think for that record that that song's on, I wrote like maybe 80% of the songs, and then we had some outside songs. But my whole thing is like, I would prefer to write my own songs. But if some of my friends who are all songwriters write something that is just incredible, which I felt like that song was, then I want to record it. You know, I think that's the cool thing about living in Nashville is you are surrounded by the best of the best, and that's all they do. You know, we are touring and recording and all that stuff. And so our time, we can't like focus our energy on the songwriting as much as a person who's just a songwriter. And they're just so good. So I heard that song, and it was just hit me where I was in my life. And I asked my girlfriend who wrote it, like, can I record this? And she let me.
I love that you were able to kind of put ego aside and say, listen, this one is brilliant. I didn't write this one, but this is an amazing track.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like the best of the best do that. Like even like Morgan Wallen doesn't write all his songs, or like if you go back, like obviously like Keith Urban or Carrie, like all these people who have amazing music, sometimes they take outside songs, which is what Nashville is. That's what they how they built Nashville.
And it still takes the performer to take it from demo to hit, right? So
Yeah, yeah, it has to be that person's voice and be believable. And I feel like coming home to you, like, you know, for me and Owen, like I have my little family and he's now married to his amazing wife. And I feel like, I don't know, it just like felt like a story that both of us were living.
yeah, I would agree. Now, was the plan always as a duet, or how did that happen with Owen?
I always felt like that song was a duet. It just like worked really well as one. But when we put out my record, everything was happening really fast and we didn't have time to record anybody else. But after the record came out, I still felt I was like, this song, like I just don't feel like it's been given the life it needs. And so I played it for Owen, and he liked it. And he's like, I'll record the guy part and maybe we can put it out together. And so we did that. And it wasn't going to be a single, it was just, you know, something. And then we decided to send it to you guys. And it's been going well so far.
Yeah. You got some other exciting news. You're going to be opening for Luke Combs.
Yes.
Where
So
were you when
excited.
you got the news of that, and how does that all happen? Is it a phone call, an email, what?
We were in the studio and my manager called me. So Luke was since the beginning from the for the Thelma and James project, he was just like I don't want to say he was a fan, but he was like commenting on everything. Like he was like, I mean, we had no followers, and like Luke Combs was like one of them, and he was just like commenting and being like, "I love this. This is rad. Like another great song." And so we knew that he liked the music, and I remember saying to my manager, I was like, "We should get on the Luke Combs tour," but you know, it wasn't. We weren't there as a band. We were just too new. We had two songs at the time, and about a month later, his team reached out to us and was like, "Hey, would they be open to coming on tour?" And so my manager called us. We were in the studio, and she's like, "Can you put me on speakerphone?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is either good or bad," because she wanted Jake to hear. And she's like, "Well, I got some news. Luke Combs wants to take you out on the road with him for like 20 shows next year." So it was just very exciting. We were with the producer that we work with, who's also one of our best friends. Like this is our crew, like me, Jake, and Lewis is his name. And we all heard it, and we're all going on the road, and we're very excited.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
So you have a lot of creative outlets. I mean, you're on television, you're obviously involved in music, songwrite. When you get stuck, because all creative people do, when you get stuck and you find yourself in those moments, how do you break out of that?
I would say for me, which it happens to everybody, it happens a lot. I think the answer to that would be just to keep showing up every single day, like, and just trying again. Like, even like I've gone into writes where I'm like, I have no ideas. My brain feels like completely empty. Like, I don't think I have a brain up there. And some of the times we get nothing. And some of those days, like, whatever happens in the room, somebody else might have an idea, or somebody will say something that sparks an idea. So I think like the answer to any sort of like creative block would just be to like show up and just start writing, even if it's like terrible. At least you like got it out, and maybe the next day something else will come. So I think that, or you know, another thing would be like to try to like go have more life experiences too, to like get inspired. Like we are such a workaholic kind of um people these days, and it's like, okay, well maybe I need to like go into the mountains by myself and like think, or you know, like just take a minute too. So there's those are the two sides that sometimes I think work for me.
What haven't you done that you want to?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Jake and I really want to do a headlining tour together. So I would love that. I definitely am working on more acting projects. A personal thing, a dream is I really want to like fully renovate a house. Like this is Jake, I'm like obsessed with like renovating and home design. So that is like a personal thing I want to do
Would
one
you ever
day.
do it as a television show?
I would love to. I mean, I probably would be not very good at it because I've never done it, but I do love like home decor. So that is just like a personal thing. But work-wise, just basically more of what I'm doing on hopefully a bigger scale every year.
And we talked about Luke Combs. Obviously, that's a huge focus for 2026. But what else is coming up?
So I will do a headline tour. We're working on a record. I'll probably put out some more Mackenzie music too, solo music. Um, what else? Oh, I'm still filming the TV show I'm on, so I'll film that till March, and then I think I'm gonna do a couple more movies in the new year. So just working and being a mom, you know, giving my mom like give my child like life experience. Like we love like doing like activities on the weekends when we're not working as much and doing like the zoo or a painting class or whatever. We love that as a family.
By the way, I love that you say I'm going to do a couple movies. I gotta, we're doing the Luke
Yeah.
Combs thing. Or
Yeah. It's it is very busy, I will say. It's been like there's times where I'm like, "Oh my God, we're like can't catch up, like drowning."
yeah.
But it's also every day I get to just like either wake up and do something creative or be a parent, and both those things are pretty rad.
Um, Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it, and I
Of
know how
course.
busy it is. So I always find it awkward at the end of the interview to try and wrap it up. So I'm going to wrap it up like a job interview. What question do you have for me, Mackenzie, before we wrap up?
Oh, okay. What is just any question?
Sure.
Okay. What are you looking forward to the most over like the holiday break doing?
So my kids are huge fans of the book and the movie The Outsiders. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar with it, but it's they both love that. So we got them tickets to go see the musical in Toronto when it
Oh,
opens
I
up in
love that.
June.
I love that.
And
Oh
they
my
will be
gosh.
very surprised. And I, as our kids have gotten older, we rely more on experiences than things
Hmm.
because we find that has a bit deeper meaning and kind of hangs around longer.
Hmm.
So that will be fun.
I saw a video that parents were like, "What was one of the presents I got you last year?" And the kids were like, I don't know." And they're like, "What was one trip we did together?" And the kids were like, "Mexico or Toronto or whatever." Like they remember the experiences more than just like a stuffed animal, you know?
Exactly, exactly. So I'm kind of
So
excited. It's not that it's all about the gifts, but I am excited for them to be surprised about that.
yeah, that is the best. Giving
Awesome.
is the best. But anyways, thank you so much for chatting.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas.
You too.
Okay, bye.
See you. Bye.